This is Plymouth Arts Weekend 2018 and I'm with Floe Brookes on Plymouth Hoe in the Lion's Den. This is LGBT art.
What's your name?
I'm Floe Brookes.
And what's your artwork?
So it's called What Comes to Matter, and it's a kind of year-long project, and I was spending time in the Plymouth LGBT archive, which is a community archive set up in 2011, and
Who set that up? Do you remember?
Alan Butler, Dr. Alan Butler, he kind of facilitated it.
He got his qualification 2 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. And so the archive is kind of housed, I think, between the kind of Plymouth and West Devon Record Office and the Plymouth University. So the project is sort of, this is kind of the kind of an end point, let's say, of a year-long sort of working, spending time in the archive, and also having conversations with local LGBTQ people.
And what did you learn?
What did I learn from the project? That it's important to listen to people.
Yes. I mean about the lesbian and gay community in Plymouth.
The community here.
Within the history of it.
Well, I mean, I think I only really probably got like I've only spent a year here. I'm from the southwest originally, but it's not a long enough time to really kind of get integrated into a community. So I wouldn't want to say like, oh, I've learned, so much in. It's more like I've got a. I guess the feeling I get from community here is that there's lots of people that are doing stuff interesting. There's lots of kind of support groups, and I guess the kind of community, the spaces within the city are mostly kind of pubs and bars.
Seems to have broken it up a lot. It seems to have levelled out a lot, because there was a very strong gay community when I first came to Plymouth. And then before I came, there used to be clubs in Union Street. Where you had transsexuals and
I know, and there's
wild evenings there.
And I found out a lot about that through the archive, like all these kind of amazing different spaces used by not only like lesbian and gay identified people, but trans people, bisexual people.
And straight people go there for a safe night out. There's no threat there.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think there's, I don't know, it's different nowadays, isn't it? And it, I guess there's so much, I guess it's also like younger generations of people end up kind of connecting more through kind of social media and online, on kind of like online platforms.
And specialised websites.
Yeah, and then I guess, that's your kind of way in of meeting people. But I know...
What made you decide to do one on the Plymouth gay history or LGBT history?
Well, I wanted to. I've worked with archives before, and I hadn't heard anything about it, and I just kind of came across their kind of web page, which is Plymouth LGBTarchive.org.uk, I think, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. Plymouth to me is just like a place I used to come to a bit as a teen, going to gigs and stuff, and so it's not. I don't have that. I'm not from Plymouth, so I don't have that kind of connection with it. But I don't know, I think I was just like, it intrigued more than anything, and then I have friends here, friends that are working here, and then through that it just sort of, I just sort of thought, oh, maybe this is kind of a great way to kind of connect up with people and communities that I had something to do with as a teen, and then sort of revisiting that, and then it's just I guess I'm also interested in.
What was it like coming to Plymouth as a teen then?
Well, I mean, I felt pretty kind of isolated, and I guess quite like suffocated in a lot of ways, but I don't think that's necessarily relating to Plymouth. I think that's more like that was in, so I was born in '87, so I guess I would there wasn't a lot. Well, I mean, we had the internet, but there wasn't really anything on there.
Yeah.
And I'm trans, and I identify as queer, so
yeah.
for me, I was like, oh.
So you're a double whammy, basically.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it, you know, there wasn't the language around kind of, you know, people of trans experience was very medical and very kind of pathologized, and so
yeah.
I think I really struggled with that because I just couldn't really find my place in it.
Problems,
yeah. And
then even in Pride in London, I believe there was a big issue.
Well, recently with the Pride event, yeah.
And everybody was in uproar about it because it shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
Yeah.
Because obviously Pride is about diversity and understanding people for who they are.
Yeah.
So having people like that in a procession shouting at their own people is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. And I think lots of people were really hurt by that.
Yeah.
You know, with good reason to be.
So as a trans, when did you realise, you know, which way you needed? When did you realise
that I was trans?
That you were trans. Yeah.
I guess like, oh God, it's a hard one. Well, I mean, when I was very young, like around 8 or 9, I kind of knew something was different, but I couldn't really articulate it or put my finger on it.
I was at Pride in Truro in 2015, and there's a lad there who's 17, and he couldn't wait to have the sex change to become a girl.
Yeah.
And he was due to have it because he told his mother when he was 13 that he was a girl. And it's very hard for anybody that can't understand to get their head around that.
Yeah, and it's when you don't have. I think it's. I mean, I think
a friend of mine who's actually sorry to butt in, but I've just noticed on Facebook yesterday that a friend of mine who's in his 70s that walks around. A friend of mine who walks around. He's straight, but he walks around as a cross-dresser in Torpoint and in Plymouth. Apparently got spat up by a 14-year-old, a lad between 14 and 16-year-old a few days ago, and it's really upsetting. Because it's only the second time it's happened.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Plymouth is still a sort of very military naval base mentality behind it.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised, even though it's totally wrong, that he hasn't had hassle before over that.
That's it's really. I mean, no, of course it shouldn't happen, and it is. It's really difficult. I mean, it's having lived in places that are far more diverse, like Brighton and London and stuff. When I am back in the southwest, there's such a disparity in, or at least, I mean, that's my experience of it. I can really feel it.
It shouldn't be in this day and age, and there's a reason for that. And I went through that with you yesterday. It's people. Well, I'm not into conspiracy theories in any way at all, but there's still people in power that are having their own behaviour.
Well, it's systemic, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's very prevalent down in the southwest, where they're that paranoid about people finding out about them, that they're oversensitive to other people.
Yeah.
And then they lay the law down onto the people, which is historically out of touch with the people at the moment. Well, it's not out of touch with the people, it's misusing the laws against the people still. So we've still got a long way to go in breaking down those boundaries in places away from London and away from Brighton.
Yeah,
no, a lot more understanding.
Yeah, exactly, entirely. That's the thing, it doesn't... More, don't go near the edge. Sorry, it's just it's my niece. She's just like running near the edge.
So what are your aims for?
What you mean?
In the future?
In the future?
Where are you going with your creative work?
Well, I've got a couple projects coming up. I make paintings, but I also do a lot of stuff with, I'm interested in working with particularly LGBTQ communities and groups. So hopefully more of that. I don't know. I've got a couple of exhibitions in London at the end of this year, and then next year I don't know. I need to have a little break, I think.
And what's your website?
It's Floe Brookes.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, won't you play a song for me? I'm not sleepy and there is no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, won't you play a song for me? It's a jingle, jingle morning, I've been following you. Empire, it has returned to the sand. It's vanished from my hand. Left me blindly here to stand, but still not sleeping. My weariness amazes never ended on my feet. Have no one left to meet the empty city streets too dead for dreaming and hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, won't you play a song for me? Jingle, jingle, morning, I'll come following you. Take me for a trip upon your magic swirling ship. My senses have been stripped, my hands cannot feel to grip. Wait only for my booty to be wandering. I'm ready to go anywhere, and I'm ready for the fade into my own parade. Cast your dancing spell my way, I promise to wander here. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, won't you play a song for me? I'm not sleepy and there is no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, won't you play a song for me? In the jingle, jingle morning, I'll come following you. If you hear the laughter spin, swinging madly across the sun, it's not aimed at anyone, it's just escaping on the run. And but for the sky, there are no fences facing. And if you hear any traces,
you find Floe Brookes on floebrooks.co.uk. You find these Plymouth artists on Plymouth Art Weekend on Facebook. There's been a Christmas video 2018. You can contact me at ccsPhoto12@hotmail.com, and if you can help to sponsor my videos, you can pay upon me at ccsPhoto1@gmail.com. Thanks for watching the video. Music with Great Thanks by Phil McGlass, who's busking in Plymouth. You can find him on Facebook.